Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Benton City Council Budget Workshop. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and we are about 5 minutes late, so getting started. Okay.
I'm in anytime y'all are ready.
Do we not have
Can you
the
hear
audio
us?
on?
Can you not hear it? Hello, can you not hear it?
Oh, it's not on. Are you on mute yourself, maybe?
No, no. Is it back to the board?
It is. Yep, now the speakers are working. I heard Margaret coming through.
Skip to the HDMI.
That was right there.
I could hear you guys just fine. I don't know if Margaret's having issues.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Dropped it.
Wait, Jose said he can hear us.
Oh.
Yeah, Jose can hear us.
Okay.
Oh, I know. He said that.
So, Margaret, can you hear it yet?
I can see y'all. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we just, Jose can hear us too, but can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. And
Okay.
see,
Okay.
So, are we recording now?
Yeah.
Okay. 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 One more time. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Benton City.
Linda, it's not very clear when you're talking. It's not clear.
I've got it right up to my face. Can we turn the volume up? Or something, JB? Margaret can't hardly hear us.
I know.
How about now, Margaret? Can you hear me better?
It's not clear. Take the mic a little bit away from your mouth and let me see how that is. Okay, now say something.
1, 2, 3, 4, testing. Is this any better?
Jose, can you hear us fine or not?
The audio from the Merrick microphone sounds horrible. I would suggest maybe trying a different microphone, Merrick, because I could hear Dave and Jessica just fine, but I think maybe the microphone's not working right.
I think she's just gonna switch yours out. Right?
Can you hear me now, Margaret? Margaret?
Say something.
Can you hear me now, Margaret?
It's very, very weak.
I don't know.
It's still weak, still weak. Jose, is it weak for you?
She's number
Doesn't sound good.
Is it still weird, Jose?
It sounds like you're in a tunnel.
This is brand new.
So
No.
we had to reopen.
Oh, the computer's the old one?
Yeah.
That's the one we decided.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now, Margaret?
It's, it still sounds like you're in a tunnel.
How's mine sound, Margaret?
It's a little better, but it's still not like it should be.
Guess that's the audio cord going from there to.
Talk to her again.
Talk to her again.
Margaret, are you able to hear us now?
I can hear you, but it's not clear. It's kind of like,
Can you hear us now?
yes,
That sounds better.
it's a little better.
Margaret, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear that very clear.
I'd say just if we can do it old school so we can get going. Yeah.
Can you hear us now, Margaret?
I can hear that very clear. Let's try Sherry and the others.
Margaret, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me? I can hear you, but you can't hear me?
See if she's muted. Jose can hear us. Jose, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
No, we can't hear him either.
This one?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Jose, can you hear me?
Yeah, Margaret, I could hear you, but I don't think staff could hear us.
I don't think they can't hear you either.
I don't think so.
I have that problem. So the things that we're still hoping to
Working
get
on.
done this year.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then there were some
really?
things that were approved from this year that we're not gonna get to.
Them.
JB,
And these are our-
I think you should get Dustin on the phone if we can't fix it.
And this was other. These were other committed funds, but they're reimbursable.
Mhm.
And then. Things that were, yeah, like.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it's something valuable to share with everybody. Where you're, how far you're.
I would,
Jose, can you hear us?
Yes, I could hear you guys.
I think he can hear us, but we can't hear them.
no, this is very helpful.
Yeah, it is. And then if it's.
Okay.
And you get the certificate.
Jose, can you hear us now?
Could hear you guys.
Training, wasn't it? Oh, you did, you beat me, I got like 90, or I missed one, I think.
I don't think so. Because for you.
Okay, Margaret, how's that sound?
I can hear you very clear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, great.
Margaret.
Your mic's way better than.
Margaret, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Is it clear this time?
Yes.
She
Yes.
she just needs to talk a little louder.
All right.
But it's
Okay. Okay, are we actually ready to start? Okay. Welcome to the Benton City Council workshop on budget. And today is December the 5th, 2023. I'm calling this meeting to order. And I think I will ask Diana. I don't think I've asked you to do the pledge for a while.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilman Sandretto,
Here.
Councilman Reed, Councilwoman Alcazar.
Here.
Okay,
Like to make a motion to excuse Councilmember Reed.
I second.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, moving forward, then the budget workshop is starting, and I don't know how you want to do this, is Sherry and.
Did you guys have any questions? Did you get a chance to look at it?
I got very minimal time to look at it, but I was just going through some.
Well,
The
unfortunately,
preliminary
we
numbers.
just discovered something wrong with it. A couple of months ago, we were working on a payroll thing and to add all these barcodes and all this stuff. Well, we have discovered some changes they've been making this week.
Oh,
And there's
something-
nothing there. So are we only, I don't know if we're missing Wade's
At least
wages.
Wade's, at least.
Is this the only thing that you wanted to kind of bring to our attention that you guys have found? I guess
So
reasonable?
far, that's what the
Okay,
only thing
that's-
we found. You want to start at the beginning or where do you want to start? Where's your questions?
Well, like I said, I have minimal time to go through it, but I'm looking at the overall expenditures and revenues.
Okay,
And it looks like we're in good shape to save a little bit, so. Based from what I'm reading here. So. But that's all dealing with the revenue though that's coming in for that bridge as well, right?
right.
Right. So without that revenue source, we'll probably show a little bit of a loss actually in the general fund. Is that correct?
Yeah, probably.
That makes a difference in how we talk about capital things this evening. Cause I know
We still have the water tower. That's under. Yeah.
Which one are you talking about?
I was going through this today and looking at it and we still have. You wanted to know about capital projects. We still have the water tower we need to do. And
That we need to
Actually-
fund?
no, I think we are funded on it. I just
Okay.
can't find it.
The ARPA funding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. It's not ARPA.
No, it needs city funding.
It's
Should come
city
out
fund-
water
okay.
fund then?
Yes.
And how much?
100,000.
Well, we got 50,000 there, and then we have 50,000 from 2023 and 50,000 in 2024, which would roll over. We haven't used any of it.
Well, if we held it back and we roll it over, it needs to say 100,000 for this year. We need to add the 50 and 50 so that we have that actually accounted for. And where are you seeing that exactly?
On page 26. I also did some research into USDA. I was told that they had lots of funds, so I went in and mapped us for the sewer plant, wastewater, water and wastewater. And we are eligible, so tomorrow I'll start pulling the paperwork out for that and see where we go. If we if we meet the criteria.
Yeah.
Because I imagine with more housing, we're going to need to get our wastewater and water up to speed, according to what Wade was saying to us.
Yeah,
Okay. So yeah, the appropriated funding for the water tower repair should say 100,000 this year.
Okay,
50,000 carried over from last year and then 50,000 additional this year.
okay. I don't know what this is.
So I've been thinking about this as we got to our budget set. Does anybody know if we have anything in the administrative code of actual to keep on hand reserve number? In the
Could you
general,
repeat that again? I'm sorry.
does anybody know if in the administrative code, there is anything that talks about a on-hand reserve that we need to keep a minimum percentage?
I have not seen anything like that in the admin code.
Okay. That's something the council needs to be taking
look
idea,
at.
yeah,
I agree.
so that we keep a minimum reserve in the general fund. Allocated for special occasions, if you will.
Emergencies.
Yes. I mean, we have enough, I think, right now, but looking at the dollars and cents, but expenditures versus what's in there. And last year's numbers, my concerns are always going to be the same, which are that we expend too much money on some sort of capital purchase, whether that's an employee piece or a street sweeper piece. So we need to be really cognizant of how we're looking at these capital pieces. That being said, we really need to discuss that. What have you put in for capital funds into the system? What do we need to look at this evening? I know the mayor has some items.
I don't know if this will help. Nathan just gave me this where he's broke it down. And the funds that we have committed, and Nathan could probably talk more on these different projects that we had going on.
Well, most of the projects we have allocated, I'm looking more at like our street sweeper, and I think they talked about a tractor and a couple trucks. Mayor's
that were
looking at
neat,
some
yeah.
personnel and some other issues.
Mhm.
So we really need to figure out what our priority set is and what we want to try to fund in that. So what's the condition of your maintenance trucks that we need to replace?
So we would be looking at just adding, not replacing. And especially like you mentioned, the mayor, if she wants to propose that adding more positions, we need more trucks. We currently only have 5 trucks in maintenance. And we have, with the summer hire, we have total of 5 of us in maintenance. So we're 1 truck per person right now. And you know, occasionally things that, you know, alternator battery go out, so then we'll have 2 guys in 1 truck. Not a big deal until one of them gets fixed. But when we had a transmission replaced, like I think on one of the smaller F-150 trucks, it was out for 3 weeks. So we had, you know, the guys splitting trucks and stuff like that. So if we're talking about adding more people, then we also need to think about adding fleet. So it wouldn't be replacing anything. It would be in addition to what we already have as far as the pickups go.
I think the first priority for us was getting a truck for Jennifer and truck for Wade, since their trucks were the oldest.
But, on that note, their trucks are not the oldest. And I think originally when JB was in code enforcement, the original thought mayor was to get that truck replaced because we had, gotten the clutch replaced. It's been at the Chevy dealership a couple times. And, mind you, JB took that truck home every day when he was in code enforcement. Jenny doesn't take the truck home, so it's not seen as much use as it did before when JB was in that spot. But I think there is a couple trucks that we do need to get replaced. I know those two trucks are only two-wheel drive trucks, so it makes it a pain to drive in snowy conditions or winter conditions and stuff. So, but I think talking to Carla, maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong, but we had thought about getting a truck for Wade and then getting a couple trucks for maintenance. I don't know if Jenny wants to touch on her condition of her truck, but we haven't really had any issues, knock on wood, on that truck lately. So
Jenny, code enforcement for the city. So just a comment on the truck that I do have. It is, does need to be replaced. It is old. I think it would benefit the city to have something that was all-wheel drive for that position as well. And it is, it's been worn. And it's been worn quite a bit. So I understand there's priorities and stuff, but I definitely don't want to leave it unsaid that the truck does need to be replaced at some time in the future.
Well, could your truck be used for some of the others that don't drive around? Drive the vehicles home and still replace that truck and then let your old truck go over to maintenance? Because not everybody drives their truck home.
Right. And that's, that would be up to the city and it's an option.
And I could touch on that a little bit as well, Mayor. The two smaller trucks, they would not be very usable. We couldn't comfortably pull a trailer and a mower with those trucks. And then we would be running into same or similar issues of not having four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive for snowy conditions. So as far as using them in maintenance, other than going into town for something small, I don't really know what we could use them for. It might be a fill-in truck that we use for when there's another truck in a shop or getting some kind of service done. Then it could be a filler truck where it just kind of fills in that void for the 2 or 3 weeks that one of the bigger trucks is in the shop or getting a repair done or something like that. But outside of that, I can't really. The summer hire uses one of the F-150s to pull a trailer and a mower around when he's doing his job and stuff. And then we have this 1 3/4 ton truck and 1 ton tool truck. And those ones are usually used to pull the mini excavator around when we're having to dig out a water leak or replace the service of a house or something like that.
Sherry, you looked into some leases.
Pardon me?
You were looking into some
I
leases.
was gonna call the Tom Gentile Ford. Jose had told me that was Prosser that has a lease option with them. And they rotate their vehicles, every 5 years, Jose?
Yeah, I talked to Marty, Public Works Director for Prosser, and they have, like Sherry said, a lease agreement with some Benton Ford where they're kind of on a 5-year rotation for their trucks. And, that's for them not to end up with trucks that are, full engine swap or full transmission repair. It's just, keep them on a rotation basis so we don't end up with, all different departments needing a vehicle all around the same time. So I think that would be a good idea for us, is to get on the rotation basis of, is it a certain year time frame? Is it a certain mileage time frame for rotation? I'm not sure what's the best idea, but it's something that we could talk to Ford about, something to Ford about.
Well, I had hoped that all of these options would have been completed by now so we could make a decision on them.
Okay. We obviously need to keep the trucks rolling. You have a budget request for 150K. It's not unreasonable for vehicles. If these actuals are correct, we did have some surplus from last year. I'm okay with 150K being allocated over to vehicle replacement.
Okay.
I don't know how the rest of the council feels.
That's not gonna get us a ton of vehicles, but I think it's a good start.
I think it's 2. I don't know, that's what he asked for.
Well, I think we need to look at some other options too, if Jenny's rig's getting to the point where it's, 2-wheel drive and older and stuff like that. So I think we need to take into consideration some of these other vehicles too.
Well, I believe Jen's vehicle does need to be replaced. Hers and Wade's both. And if we have the money for more for maintenance, then great. But I believe that Jen's did need to be replaced.
I can jump in here as well, just to add a little bit more to that. So talking to Wade, we're kind of specking out like a Ford Maverick, which is, we've seen a couple of them at different Ford dealerships. They're running anywhere from like $28,000 to $30,000, and we were kind of thinking about specking out, and that's a 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive version. So no more 2-wheel drive vehicles, no more. And I believe both of those smaller trucks that Wade and Jenny drive, they're manual transmission, so we'll just switch them over to full automatic 4-wheel drive vehicles. But they're ranging around like $27,000 to $30,000 a piece. So I think if we spec out the same truck for Jenny and the same truck for Wade, we should be around that $60,000 to $70,000 range, maybe $75,000 range. And hopefully we could squeeze in to buy a 3/4 ton truck for maintenance, even if it's just one, and then we could plan for another one in the near future, next year or the following year. And I think that will set us good where we need to be at with vehicles for the time being. Now, if we add more employees, we would have to just double up on trucks and kind of split trucks like that, which is not a problem. And just food for thought.
I guess I would be interested in seeing some price quotes from the individuals that are requesting new vehicles, Jenny and Wade and stuff. So just to kind of give us a rough idea. I know that you submitted on the trucks. I think we have some information on those, but to just try to get a rough idea on the other two.
Well, I don't know, that Maverick, Jose, I
Yeah.
think it's got a back seat on it. I don't think it'll work for what Jenny does. Cause the back end of the truck is too small.
Well, and
She's-
she uses those cages in the back to put the
Got to
dogs.
be able to have room to put them in there.
Well, I mean, it's just it's just, kind of,
So I mean, if it's like a full back seat is what my thinking was, is then you take those back seats, you remove the back seats, you put a couple cages inside in there and you put a cover on the back. Now you're able to hold 3 animals securely without, them having contact, rather than just throwing dogs in the back without any separation. That
So
was a
you feel
thought.
like that would be more suitable for you versus a pickup with just a cage in the back?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. If that was an option, which I mean, you can do all kinds of things, right? But it would all depend on how the doors open, what that looks like.
right.
Could it modify to put cages in, facing out on each side?
Right.
I just thought,
And
Well,
what
again,
size
I
cages.
think we should put $150,000 allocation and let them choose whatever truck they need, what best suits their needs, and I mean, we have to approve the purchases anyway when they come down the pike, so.
Are you willing to entertain what it would cost to do the lease option?
I don't think that's in our best interest.
It would
Uh,
eliminate a lot of the time consuming repairs and everything if they.
I think with Jenny rigs, that would probably not be suitable just because they will not want that vehicle back,
Right.
period. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
it doesn't fall into their criteria of a lease option, using it as a pet vehicle for transportation uses.
And I think as long as we're not on state contract, we should be fine in our purchase power and. I think I'd prefer to buy them outright,
Okay. Mhm.
so. That takes care of one issue.
Okay.
Now, we already put all the planning stuff in underneath that line items, right? The software and all that.
Yes,
Okay, so the planning's done.
yes.
Okay. So, Madam Mayor, you have a request for a maintenance foreman.
Yes,
There's also a request for additional help for Wade.
yeah, and Jenny got some help.
So both of those are long-term problems that we'll have to fund over the long term. Obviously, we have some dollars available. But I don't know if moving that fast and including 2 people next year is a good idea. So I guess the theory here is what's most important.
Well, I think getting somebody for Wade is critical. I think we also have a need for a foreman.
Well, again, as I said, there's funds out here and we got a lot of budget requests. But as far as next year, this coming year, you have to plan this out as a long-term investment that you're gonna have a reoccurring fee, so I'm concerned that I don't want to have that many people in a reoccurring state without being sure we have budget enough to cover it all. So, that being said, that's my concern. How does the rest of the council feel? How does the mayor feel? Which one is the priority to fill?
My stance, I mean, obviously, we know we have somebody on payroll and it's not contributing to the workforce as of right now. And I know Wade is in desperate need of having somebody that's able to step in and help him out when he can't. So for me, I think we need to really focus in on that, and maybe if things change with this other position that we can look at it, further down the line. That's kind of where I stand until things change with where we're at right now.
And I agree with Councilwoman Wadsworth. Wade does need the help, but I think with the other position, that's not effective.
So
Contributing.
what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you think that the maintenance foreman position is something that we should move forward with?
I think getting somebody for Wade, but I don't think getting us a foreman position right now is something that we need to do because we have somebody on payroll that is not contributing to the workforce.
Correct.
But
And
that's
I think-
ending, right, that's ending.
Well, that was what we've been hearing, but for right now, we're talking strictly what's in front of us and what our budget looks like. And right now that he is on our payroll. So that is something that's
Yeah, that will be coming out.
So what's a maintenance person that would be in Wade's category gonna cost us for a total package?
That is going to come down to their certifications, what all they are doing. Wade's at the top of his certifications, so that puts him way up there. So I don't know what you would want to put, because the jobs are broke down literally by person.
certification. And how much
Certification.
quality, how
Yeah,
much,
it's not, it doesn't go by this position, this is how much you'll start at and move up. It literally is broke down in the ordinance as to each individual person.
And would it need to be a full-time or a part-time? Would that make a difference?
I would just
Or
go full
Full-time,
time.
okay.
I don't think we're gonna entertain
That's
any
what I was-
part-time positions moving
Okay.
forward.
So,
So he's at like 90, like the mid-90s right now.
Full package?
It's just wages, so
Okay.
you can add another 30,000
Okay.
for the full package. I would say it would probably, with the certifications, you'd probably be looking at about $70,000 to $80,000 for it.
Okay.
so you have 110,000 allocation,
I'd go 115.
115, okay. So let's make that happen.
I'm good with getting Wade back up and
Yes.
somebody else trained to that
Okay.
position.
Most
So-
definitely.
Okay. You want $100,000 a year to be saved for a Vector truck. And you want a street sweeper. And a new tractor. And a salt shed. Which ones are the most important?
As of right now, street sweeper.
And this is something I know that they have been asking since I've joined council, is getting a street sweeper. And it's something that I think would be beneficial long-term for us as a city and helping them maintain their roads.
We had a yearly lease program in that, if I remember right.
He brought a couple different options to us, and I'm sure we'll have to revisit that because I think it was quite a while ago and they probably will not warranty what you brought to us initially. So it's something that if you have time, maybe entertaining that again so we have correct numbers on those.
Yeah, I could do that. And I also want to mention, there is opportunity for a USDA loan on that, low interest loan. And I forwarded that information to Carla, and it might be the same information that Sherry was talking about a little bit ago. So I could work with Sherry and Carla on that to try to figure it out, but I think it was the application for USDA is pending our budget. So I think once we wrap up the budget for the year, I think then we could put in the right numbers for that application. And that's exactly what the city of Prosser did to fund their purchase of their street sweeper.
So I think that's something that we definitely need to take a look at and see if we can fund it on a lease, on a, what do they call it? Payment plan.
It all
Loan.
comes down to.
Loan, there we go. That's the
Loan.
word.
With that USDA though, it comes down to if you can afford it. And if you can't, they will help you get it. USD has a lot of money right now.
So I think it would be good if we can get some of it.
Yeah.
Right. because I printed off some stuff for the wastewater and the water treatment plant. So it says, put in your address and everything. So I put the address in and it came up that we were eligible for that area. So that's just more stuff to research into USDA.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Do we want to put that out to Megan to handle for us, or?
I had talked to Nathan about it. We're gonna talk more about it tomorrow.
Yes.
Or
Oh,
when
okay.
Thursday,
Okay.
tomorrow,
Okay.
okay, yeah. Yeah, because there's some, you gotta put some criteria in there and they tell you if you're eligible or anything. So it was kind of exciting to see it come up saying, oh, you're eligible in your area. Because under the climate agreement, you can also get funding for sewer plants because of the emissions from the sewer plant. And some places have literally had the climate places, whatever, climate people have totally built sewer plants.
Wow,
So
that's good.
it's kind of neat to have that.
It's an option.
Yeah,
Good option.
exactly.
May I ask a question
Go ahead,
regarding the project, regarding next year's budget?
go ahead.
Uh,
What we're
Nathan-
here to do is talk about it.
All right, Nathan Raddick, Spink Engineering. One of the items that we've been meeting with Wade and Jose on that appears to be a priority is relining some of the sewer lines. We budgeted or estimated about $100,000 for that. Sherry, I saw on page 31 of the budget, there's an investment sewer water capital improvement, which there's 149,000 appropriated for 2024. Are those funds set for something specific, or is that something that we could look at utilizing for sewer relining? There's definitely a need in some areas where we have lines that are failing.
So it's 137,069.78. Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Where are you at?
page 31,
149.
yeah.
It's under
Appropriated for-
investments, so. We haven't used any of it.
And the 2024 appropriated 149 is,
I would imagine so.
okay. Does council have any issues or concerns with that?
Are these matching funds that we needed for something, or?
The sewer relining would just come out of city funds. There's
This funding here that's sitting here,
that's what I was asking.
That's just-
Sherry.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, it's just, must have been something that we plopped in there last year when we sat down and did the whole budget.
or for some reason it's there, it's in a fairly specific number set.
And basically,
Probably need to know what it is and why. Sewer line relining, I thought it was its own line item at one point. Because we were doing it on a regular basis, and I think last year is the year we stopped, or the year before.
No, we put a pause to it.
There's sewer lining on page 29, but it's 0.
Yeah. There was a stop put on it for some reason.
Alan with Spink Engineering. The reason that we put a pause on it was when we were doing the lift station and force main project. And there was a lift station at the corner of Babs and Second from Dollar General. And that had some pumps that we wanted to replace. So we started going into it, and the entire guts of the lift station were needed to be replaced. So we replaced that, the guts of the lift station, and a new control panel. And that's where we used part of that money that was built up for that. And then I think we spent the year ahead also. So that's when we kind of stopped doing the sewer relining at that point, just so we could pay that off for that lift station. And then it really never picked back up at that point. So
Do you remember what that allocation line item number was?
I do not, I can go back and look it through our budgets.
You
You
know?
found it on 29, right, Diana? You
I found the one for the sewer line, but it's all zeroed out. For the sewer relining. There was a sewer lining project
Mhm.
and then there was the engineering sewer lining and they're all zeros.
So that's where it would have to go if we reinstated it.
No. But that was the intent when we first started, was every year spend about $100,000. And the first year we replaced some lines that actually had collapsed. And then from there, we were planning on relining to keep intact what's there.
Well, we gotta keep the sewers flowing, so put it back in there.
Yep. You know what year that was?
I don't, I can go back and pull up my old budgets that I have.
That's okay. I can go in
Okay.
and find it. And how much you want to put back in there?
100K.
Sherry, I'll get you the numbers on how much should be in engineering and how much in,
Okay, that'll be fine before I do anything.
it'll
Jimmy?
balance to 100.
Okay.
And I know we're kind of approaching our city council time. Is this something that we would like to entertain again to do this maybe before the next council meeting?
I think the next council meeting, we're gonna have to vote it. So it has to be finished.
Okay.
So if you want to meet next Monday, we could do that, if anybody's available.
I mean, it's completely up if we feel like we need to go over a couple more items as you guys get a couple things shifted around.
Yeah, we'll need to go over the vehicles and
We have a workshop
Well-
set up at 6 o'clock on the 19th.
Do we?
Yeah,
But that's the last council meeting.
Yeah.
right. Then
too
we go
far
into
out.
council.
People in the council.
Yes.
Yeah, it's too far out. Because we still need to finalize some of these capitals. If nobody's got an objection Monday at 6,
See what we have.
talk to me. Talk to me.
I will do my best to attend.
I can be here. Monday, the 11th,
What time?
6.
I can be here.
And just so my fellow council members, looking at the budget as it currently sat. And what we've made changes to on the capital side. There's about 385,000 that I would attempt to allocate. For any type of purchases. Now, keep in mind the mayor's requests. And then keep in mind the request from the city staff. Because it's quite a bit higher than 385. And we need to figure out how we're gonna and what we're gonna do. So give it some thought. There's a salt shed, there's Vector trucks, there's trailers, there's other things of that nature, so. As well as Old City Hall. So think about all those things. And then if everybody's good, without motion to adjourn, and we'll come back next week.
Second,
Okay, all in favor?
Sandra, I.
Wadsworth, aye.
Alcazar, aye.
I meant, read I.
Okay. We're adjourned. Thank you.
5 minutes to the